Welcome back to Witness Stories. This very short video is just a clarification of some factors that relate to OBEs, out-of-body experiences, and lucid dreaming, and some other skills that I have run across that you might also run across. But to talk about this, to clarify some elements here. For me, there is a crossover between ESP and out-of-body experiences. Basically, there are situations that happen because there is a difference between your physical body and your astral or your etheric bodies. Basically, when your physical body and its senses are inert, somehow pushed out of the way through meditation or other things interfering with those senses, then your astral can become more accessible, or at least is more easy to observe. That is the basis of an out-of-body experience, somehow passing an astral experience back to our conscious self, which interacts with our physical body. That perceptive ability is a bit tricky and takes an altered conscious state, be it meditative or a trance, or an altered sleep state, or an OBE, an out-of-body experience. And it is advisable, if you do have an experience where you have in an altered state of some form and perceive something or remember something, you should write it down, because quite often that passed back experience does not fully impact your regular physical memory. Your body does not always encode it back for long-term memory purposes. So as a reminder, you should write it down. This is probably one reason why people experience UFO situations. They often are in some sort of an altered state during that event, and while they might remember it later, or they just remember it for a few minutes, after a short time, it can disappear and they won't remember it at all. Anyway, but this consideration explains some observable occurrences of ESP, not just the memory facet. Those can include observations of ghosts, as noted in the ghost story sections that I have presented here as well in these stories. But there are other situations a person can encounter and even repeat these things under test conditions, repeatable at least in theory, even if just a bit intermittent for some of these things. It very much depends on the instrument of the person involved and how disciplined they are in their process, how experienced they are, or some talent or skill related to that. But I do say I have observed some of my own experiences that depend on the factor of a difference between your physical body and the other bodies or aspects of yourself that's not in the physical. So anyway, for some of these stories, keep that in mind.